Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a buying guide review of the Kemi collection from Xerjoff. We have 9 of the fragrances here, and this collection was released last year in March of 2023. The brand decided to reintroduce and to revamp an old collection that they used to have that was a sister company called Kemi Blending Magic. This is what the old bottles used to look like. But now they have added the Kemi line to the Xerjoff catalog and reintroduced with these amazing bottles with the caps. I'm not sure if you can see the really intricate design and detail on the caps, but I really love the presence that they have. The whole collection is inspired by ancient alchemy and the beauty and wealth of the Middle East. The magic sense of transformation, and all of these are made with natural elements. It is a very special collection, and we're gonna go ahead and start off with the first fragrance, which is Aurum. And this one may be one of my favorites, and why is that? Because this shares a very close relation to my all-time favorite perfume ever, and my favorite perfume from Xerjoff, Via Cavour 1. They're not exactly the same. Aurum is more of a darker, more intense interpretation. So we'll go ahead and talk about the notes. All of these fragrances are insanely complex and have very long note breakdowns. In Aurum, we have Bulgarian rose with bergamot and lemon, with Brazilian orange, strawberry, and chocolate, with cistus, incense, labdanum, heliotrope, oak moss, vanilla, and patchouli. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's this really nice, like blooming, enveloping rose, a bright rose, but combined with a really nice citrus, but done in more, oh, it's so pretty, guys. In more of a creamy, citrusy, semi-gourmand way. And that orange and chocolate combination is stunning. It's the type of gourmand notes in this perfume that are done in a way that feels very elegant versus necessarily over-the-top edible or sugary sweet. There is a lot of balance to this scent. It's a bit fruity, but really not too much. Once again, more in a gourmand leaning way. And you get this really nice chocolate patchouli with sweet berries and a really nice sweeter resin underneath too. A little bit of a chocolatey oud as well. There's a lot of chocolatey facets in Aurum with a really nice cashmere quality, which is the heart and soul of Via Cavour 1. A very minimal kind of green side to this. It's going to be more semi-gourmand leaning. It is the perfect, super luxurious nighttime fragrance. You just smell this and you feel like it's meant for an occasion. Like this is, because there is a lot of sensuality to this scent. I mean, think of the notes, right? Dark chocolate, strawberry, fruits, orange. Like there's so much sensuality that it's perfect for a date night. Like when you really want to make an impression, not just on your date, but everyone around you, this is the type of fragrance that you want to reach for. And if you sampled Via Cavour 1 and you thought that it was a little bit too sweet for you, I would try Aurum if you like the idea of that DNA, because it is a bit darker. It is absolutely beautiful. But now we're gonna move on to the second fragrance, which is Aqua Regia. This is inspired by the dazzle of gold and the resilience of platinum. The notes in here, this is going to be a really nice kind of green leather fragrance. So you have leather with black currant, with bergamot, violet, Tuscan orris, caramel, patchouli, vanilla, musk, and cedar. This is a really well done dark leather fragrance, dark green leather. It kind of walks the line between being a green scent versus more of like a rugged leather in the opening, but with a very opulent and rich orris butter. It is very rounded, and there is something in here that is almost a little bit tea-like. There is a sparkling, fresher element to the scent, almost kind of like a eucalyptus vibe. It's powdery and green with a nice sweetness. It just all works together so well, and as it dries, it does get sweeter. It is a very dressy leather fragrance, so if you are a fan of leather, you need to try Aqua Regia. It's a leather that anyone can wear, perfectly unisex. This whole line is unisex for men and for women. So next we have Hayat. The name comes from the Arabic word for life. It tells a story of the earth's elements, air, fire, and water, with notes of bitter orange, lavender, saffron, cardamom, and cinnamon, with amber, cypriol, patchouli, and cedar, and some oud. Wow. This is very powerful. Wow, very Arabic feeling. When I smell this, it immediately makes me feel like I'm standing in the souks in Dubai. Like it just immediately transports you to the Middle East. The imagery is insane. It opens incredibly aromatic with this really nice like purple feeling lavender. I don't know if I'm the only one that when I smell lavender, I picture like green or purple. This one is definitely more of a creamy, aromatic purple color. A loud lavender and very spicy. It has this very enveloping, welcoming spice. And between that cardamom and saffron, it makes it very alluring. It draws you in. It's a bit camphorous, kind of minty. The cypriol and oud is more prominent in Hayat, but once again, it's not too much. I wouldn't say that this is a challenging oud at all, and it also, in a way, kind of comes off a bit chocolatey here too. It's not too strong, but you can definitely feel it here. Versus the last two that I talked about had a very minimal oud. It's just an incredibly aromatic fragrance. It's really beautiful, Hayat. So next up, we have Tempest, which is inspired by the Shakespearean play, A Tale of Sorcery and Alchemy. And this fragrance is all about an elemi resin with a very uplifting citrus and ginger. This has petitgrain and lavender, but done in a different way than Hayat. And there is a lot of jasmine in this as well. The opening is gorgeous, but it does quickly kind of turn into more of an indolic leaning jasmine, but not in a way that is stuffy or vintage or like not appealing to smell. It just adds something of interest to the scent. I really feel like sometimes fragrances that are done in a slightly indolic, animalic way can either go in those two directions, you know, either too much, hard to understand, or just something interesting and kind of sexy. And that's definitely the way it's done in Tempest. Like the name, it's very tempting. And once again, it's not too much in the fragrance. I feel like I'm gonna say that about every scent that I talk about, but that's what I really like about this collection too, is that it has a way to bring something new and to have you smelling unique and to kind of push the boundaries of what people are normally used to smelling, but it's never too much. It's never overpowering or something that's off-putting. They're all beautiful fragrances. And what I like about this too is it's a bit meditative in a way. It's like a very in-tune Zen fragrance. It's also really nice because of that citrus and ginger. It keeps the freshness into the dry down. That ginger is very zesty and awakening, so this scent never really goes in a darker direction. It stays very bright, very fresh. A very sophisticated floral resinous scent. A very light oud in here too. It's a very clean oud. And this is once again completely unisex. It does not lean feminine or masculine. What I do want to emphasize with this collection is do not overspray these fragrances because they are so incredibly powerful. And I feel like if you overspray these, you're not going to really get the full magical experience of wearing these. You know, if you spray too much, it might become a little overpowering and you're not going to really notice or experience those really nice, like fine-tuned nuances in the scents, like the artistry of the fragrances. So I would only recommend like 1 to 3, maybe 4 sprays max. So the next scent that we're going to talk about is Layla, and that is the Arabic word for night. This scent is going to have more of a calm and serene character with seductive notes that tempt like glittering stars. We have notes of clove and nutmeg. There's definitely a big dose of spice with ylang ylang, cedar, patchouli, amber, musk, vanilla. Another wow, a creamy, warm, beautiful floral fragrance. This definitely feels tropical because of that ylang ylang and vanilla, but there's just something else about it. It's kind of tropical, but in a very dark way, like the nighttime in the tropics. And I really like how the spices are done here. I feel like most of the time when you think of notes like clove and nutmeg, you can picture something more like just masculine leaning, but the way that the spices are done in here, it's almost gourmand. Like it almost comes off like baking spices, like you're baking a loaf of some sort of like but not banana bread because it doesn't smell like banana, but you know, like you're baking something versus it being like a really sharp masculine spice. I hope that makes sense. It just adds to the creaminess of this. It is so beautiful. And I love that it's sweet, but it doesn't really come off sugary sweet. And the spice in here, I'm telling you, it really draws you in. It is a very unique interpretation of clove and nutmeg. So unique and very romantic. A very multifaceted floral spicy vanilla. Oh my gosh, this was an amazing discovery for me. Absolutely gorgeous Layla. I don't want to stop smelling it. The next fragrance is Luna, which is of course an ode to the moon. A very enchanting and mysterious scent with notes of lemon, bergamot, mandarin, patchouli, cedar, jasmine, sambac, Bulgarian rose, orris, violet, amber, musk, and caramel. It opens with a very strong mix of fruits and patchouli. Based off the notes, you wouldn't think it, but this is actually a very dominant patchouli fragrance, but ultra creamy. I feel like you can really feel the texture of this orris butter, but it just combines with the patchouli and just creates a really nice creamy texture. But the patchouli is really the star of the show. Has a lot of patchouli on the top. It's really different. There's nothing that I can really compare this to. Truly one of a kind. This is an amazing fragrance if you're a patchouli lover and you want to try something new. I feel like Xerjoff overall has a really special way of using patchouli. I feel like they do patchouli fragrances really well. We see that in Tony Iommi, Via Cavour 1, and many others, and now Luna. Next up, we have Kemi, which is inspired by Egypt and is the ancient word for Egypt. This is a very enigmatic fragrance with gourmand facets. This has caramel with cedar and a rare Laotian oud and vanilla. I don't know, when this opens, there's something about it that takes me to the past. I don't know what it is. There's something in this fragrance that reminds me of something in my childhood. And I have been like pondering this for days now. I cannot figure out what it is. It's amazing how fragrances can do that. Like, I don't remember what it smells like, but there's some element to the scent that is taking me to my childhood. It has a very bright, attention-grabbing opening, but it does change quickly. This is definitely going to have the darkest oud in any of the fragrances that we've talked about so far. This has Xerjoff balsam, castoreum, civet, something kind of animalistic here. I just imagine the heat of the Egyptian sun. It is really the center stage here, that kind of animalic undertones with the oud. I will say it is definitely, especially into the dry down, it changes really quick. The opening is very bright and then it very quickly transforms into a much darker mid and dry down. I will say this is going to be the most challenging in the entire collection. It is woody, you get a lot of cedar. It is inspired by the past with amber, kind of a sappy resin. It is something for the connoisseurs out there that really love oud. So if that's you, you will really love Kemi. The next perfume that we're talking about is Ilm, which takes its name from the Arabic word for knowledge. I love the inspiration behind all of these fragrances. I think it's very cool. So Ilm is going to be a tribute to the golden age of knowledge. The notes in here, there's Xerjoff balsam, sandalwood, oud, cedar, ambergris, oak moss, and amber. So this opens a lot less intense than Kemi. It's definitely not a very sweet scent either. You're not gonna find any sort of sweet notes here. It is very natural and earthy and woody, kind of like an aged wood. It's very ambery and balsamic. I think that it's going to be the most straightforward oud fragrance in the collection too. It is a very enjoyable, classy, wearable oud fragrance. It smells rich and very intoxicating. But we're gonna go ahead and finish up the video with Jabir. And this is named after the creator and father of chemistry and the father of alchemy as well. And this is going to be a very floral fragrance with notes of Bulgarian rose, peony, lily of the valley, muguet, vanilla, patchouli, vetiver, and oud, with some musk as well. You get this really beautiful kind of berry vibe in the opening with peony, this gorgeous pink peony, and it kind of comes off like a slightly tart but juicy blackberry. It's very realistic in this scent. It is definitely the most floral and bright in the entire collection. It smells magical. It's very velvety, a really nice velvety texture. And it has some kind of earthy and balsamic tones in the background that really grounds the scent. And the rose just blooms into the mid. And I love that blackberry vibe here. It is an amazing perfume to make a statement. It feels traditional, but also very modern at the same time. It is so complex, really beautiful. This is another one that really shocked me, especially just because of the color of the bottles. I was not expecting something so vibrant and fresh and bright, but it's really beautiful. Jabir. So that was just my overview of the Kemi collection. I did not cover any of the fragrances from the K Blue collection because I did do a dedicated video on this last year. So if you're interested to hear about the K Blue collection, which is 4 perfumes, I will leave that linked down in the description below. Overall, it's a very artistic and luxurious and show-stopping collection from Xerjoff. It is finally back and better than ever. I love the bottle design. The packaging is amazing. Xerjoff has the best packaging, hands down. They really pay attention to every little detail and really focus on the buyer's experience. Like, they really want you to feel like you're buying a luxury product and having a luxury experience, and you definitely do get that. The whole entire collection was done by the master perfumer Christian Carbonell, and I believe that this is some of his best work. And they do also offer a collection of attar oils, and you can find them all on Xerjoff's website. But I wanted to highlight really quick that you can also get sample kits on the Xerjoff website. I do see a lot of questions from people asking me where can they sample some harder to find Xerjoff fragrances, and it's on their website. For about less than 25 euros, you can get 4 2 ml samples in a kit, and you can pick from their entire catalog. And they do offer all of the Kemis as well. And if you do buy a sample kit, the price that you pay can be used towards a full-size bottle. So I believe they will email you like a special coupon code for the price of the sample kit to use towards a full-size bottle. Just wanted to quickly mention that because not that many people know that they offer very affordable samples, and they ship worldwide as well. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below if you've ever tried any fragrance from Kemi. What is your favorite? What are you most interested to try? I would love to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.